Alright, so can you tell us more about the pirates?
So this was one of the few times that I've been out on the water and really genuinely concerned. I woke up, I'd been sleeping. There was a vessel, you know, smallish but fast looking with huge engine on the back. 5 dudes on it, inbound really quickly. So I was like, I thought I was seeing things and I was like, what the hell is that? Like sort of worst nightmare sort of stuff. And I got up real quick and I looked at them and they had a huge spotlight that they were swinging around, caught, like adding to the chaos. I sort of looked around and on the port side there was a not huge but big, probably fishing vessel, I've decided, and it had boats connected to the back of it, so there was sort of 4 or 5, and in my mind I was like, oh, that's gonna be the mothership, and then they pull up and then from there they spread out, which is what I'd read in previous reports on pirate activity.
Okay, so this is where I sleep when Riley's on shift, because we usually talk to each other through this window before we go to sleep. So
I was like, alright, well this is really happening. I ran from the wheel over to Elayna and I was like, Elayna, you have to get in the room, there's people coming. And she would just fully panicked because I woke her up.
I got woken up to some yelling. It was, Elayna, go and hide, Elayna, go and hide.
So I said, you know, get in the room, and she was like, oh, are you serious? In the scaredest voice I've ever heard.
And I thought it was a joke. It would have been a very mean joke and Riley probably would have gotten a hit for it, but I couldn't hop in the hiding spot without seeing what was going on, and Riley didn't know, but I had time to quickly pop my head up the stairs and have a look, and I saw this bright spotlight and a boat with boats hanging off it very, very close, and I was like worried they saw my head pop up. So I bolted back down here and I jumped in the hiding spot, which is this back wall here. Don't tell the pirates, but that's it. Oh, I can actually open it up. It's got fenders in there at the moment and canned food, and I got in there so quick and I was just listening, just waiting for a noise I could recognise, because all I could hear was the roar of the engine. So I'm just thinking the worst and just worried that, you know, someone was going to board the ship and I'd hear the engine slow down and God knows. It was very scary.
It was, wasn't it? They're saying to me, slow down, and I jammed it in full throttle. Doing the opposite
as
of
you
what
would.
They said, yeah. And they're saying to me, oh, come here, which is food. And I'm just thinking, what the hell do you want food for? Like, you'll end up getting shot coming, like, approaching boats like this.
At 1 in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know what time it was.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and so I put it back on autopilot, ran downstairs and grabbed like 5 or 6 cans of food, ran back upstairs and just started tossing cans of food at these fishermen. The first one like landed on the front of their boat and skimmed across the deck, and the second one hit the side of their boat, and then like I started to hone in and I threw one and it hit the front guy, and then I threw another.
You're just ditching cans at them.
Well, I was.
Yeah.
I was going towards them and back. It was very calm, so I was thinking they could easily come up behind and just jump onto the back of our boat. So I was sort of steering like this, not trying to annoy them, but trying to just definitely make life difficult for them whilst I was pegging cans of food at them upon request. So, yeah, eventually they peeled off, and then I went downstairs and called out for Elayna, and she was in hysterics basically, and had to sort of talk her down a bit, and then we had a debrief in the cockpit whilst the lights disappeared into the background, and that was that.
So there's been reports of that sort of thing happening from Panama to the Galapagos, but you know, no deaths, but just sort of apparently, scares.
Yeah, it wasn't as uncommon as I had first thought. That has happened a tiny little bit in the past.
And we were one of the unlucky ones.
We were. Well, it still could have just been 5 blokes after a couple of cans of food, but it's not how you ask, I don't think.
No, at least they could have hopped on the radio, you know? Channel 16, like, give us some food. Riley was a little concerned about this fishing vessel that came close by after last night's episode, but they were just checking out the same spectacular congregation of fauna that we were witnessing. The wind had completely died and there was no chance of it coming back. So we took advantage of the calm, jumped in the water and scrubbed the hull in preparation for our arrival to the Galapagos Islands.
So you heard bird noises?
Yeah, so I heard these bird noises and Riley and I couldn't figure out what the hell it was, and I was convinced that there was a bird downstairs, like it just had flown in the window and it was hurt and didn't know how to get out, so I searched the whole boat, like every inch of the boat, and yeah, there was no bird, but Riley told me this morning that it was actually the boom.
The outhaul on the boom was squeaking.
Yeah, I was really hoping that it would be a bird, like I wanted something to love and pat and feed and release back into the wild, but no luck. This is the most beautiful sunset we have ever seen.
Hello. I'm wrapped with that. I think it's
this.
fantastic.
Look at all this bird shit on the deck. That's gonna be impossible to get off.
No, I watched some before, it's not so bad.
Oh, good. Alright, should probably put dinner on. Yum yum. The sun was rising just as I spotted the most eastern island of San Cristobal, just as Charles Darwin would have done in 1835 on the Beagle. Cruising into the anchorage, we were a little nervous as there was big swell both sides and only a small little entry point in between two reefs. But we got it done and dropped the anchor around some dive boats and little fishing vessels.
We grabbed our week's worth of rubbish and headed into town. You can't use your dinghy because of all the seals, so we jumped in a water taxi that would once again be our transport to and from land and home. What's happening, bud? You're sculling down a bit of
This is how hungry I am.
garlic juice.
We've been waiting for food since 9:30 and it's now 12. We just got our food. I'm just appalled at the service.
And you've been up
Since 3 in the morning and all I wanted was a salad. And I'm really grumpy.
You are a bit grumpy, aren't you?
Yeah.
You must be happy now. You've had your food.
No.
You You've been up since 3 o'clock and you claim to have not slept before then.
Nah, pretty much haven't slept all night, but I can, you know, that's not the end of the world. It's when you order a salad at 9:30 in the morning and you're starving to death and it doesn't arrive until 12. A salad. And it wasn't even that good.
Grumpy Elayna.
Turtle!
Say something angry.
I'm gonna kill all the seals over there.
We headed back to La Vagabonde where about 6 officials and bureaucrats jumped on board, muddied my cockpit and made me sign a whole bunch of papers. What the hell is that? What's this? Rambo!
Es Terminator, capitán. ¿Qué tiene que pagar?
2 horas fuera con azul.
Ya les digo yo al capitán.
Alright, he's getting serious.
We had to leave the boat for a few hours to give it time to air out because of all the toxic fumes, so we decided to go exploring. A very odd thing that we noticed was that everyone was dressed as some kind of bird watcher. We found it extremely comical. The main town of San Cristobal is quite small with a busy little swimming beach and some awesome little food stands. We spotted some hiking trails nearby which we plan to tackle the following day.
Alright, so tell me what your old boss used to say about the glasses.
So my old boss that I used to work with, it makes me laugh. He used to go, instead of saying Galapagos, he'd go, "Oh geez Riley, you must be really looking forward to getting over to those Galapagos Islands."
What was his name? You don't want to name and shame.
No,
He was a legend,
I don't. Yeah, he was a really nice old bloke. Legend.
Cheers for watching everyone. Join us next time with friends Joel and Nicole. We check out some giant tortoises, dive, kick a rock and set sail to another island. Alright, so what have you got for me, Glenelg?
Okay, so I just wanted to, we got a lot of comments from the last video, so I was just going to ask people with regards to the potential pirate situation that we had. Would you recommend having guns on board? Would you not? Would you recommend not having guns on board? What alternative devices would you suggest for Elayna and I? And you know, maybe just what you would have done differently. If you could leave a comment in the comment section below, we'd really appreciate it, and as always, give us a like. Thanks guys.